Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. I do apologize for missing this morning's live and have rescheduled for tomorrow. So if you missed today or I missed today, make sure to check us out tomorrow at 6:45. We will be going on live, and it seems like it'll be a good time to go on live tomorrow regardless because of where the market's at. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter because we are going live tomorrow morning. So first one, NAS. Key rejection today from this upper trend line that's been keeping us down since the beginning of the correction. We can see multiple rejections at the beginning, and then another rejection, one more here, and now today. So key rejection from the trend line. Now, if we're to look at where potentially the pullback will go to, ideally, bulls want to see a hold of this GP from the most recent move. Now, if you were to, there's this previous trend line that we saw 3 rejections from as well before the breakout on volume on Tuesday. This one, it would line up with GP somewhere back here, as well as there is a key support. Let's use 4 hours, looks a little bit easier. Key support, rejection, support, rejection again, and support, multiple supports again. So this 12,542 on NAS is the price I'm watching. Ideally for bulls, we want to be holding right here. Triple confluence as well. If we were to bounce from here, you could call it quad confluence because there is potentially another trend line from down here, the low of the NAS from the key zone bounce, and then the low from beginning of this move. This would form another trend line, so there is a quad confluence here. So if we were to, we can see a little bit of stall at the 4-hour 8 right now. I would imagine a little bit more follow through on this pullback. The idea from now, same as what I shared on Twitter. By the way, for those of you that haven't seen, started a Twitter account, just started posting on it today or last night. So if we were to do this, next one would be right around here. And let me just show the Twitter account. So the Twitter account or profile is under @_TC Traders _. And there has been a few posts that I made today. One of them being an entry on KOSS, potential for laggard play to GME. Biggest bull volume ever today. Anyways, make sure you check it out. Also added it to the description as well as the intro video. So added the links there so it's easier access for you guys. All right, so this is what I'm expecting for bull scenario, the bull thesis. If in the case that we do break down lower, remember this is a key rejection that we are seeing today. So there is a chance that we go down to here instead. The 1-to-1 extension, make a new low. On the new low, we would find bull divergence. Okay, let's do this. Probably here. So a couple scenarios. Of course, there is another bear scenario, bear thesis that could bring us much lower, but we'll discuss that on the SPX. So these two are the likely scenarios that I'm expecting right now. Whether if we bounce from the GP, if we were to lose the GP, we'll be looking down at the 1-to-1 extension target that was never reached, around the 12,100 mark. From there, would expect a bounce due to confluence of 1-to-1, key zone, as well as GP from. What is this GP from? This GP is from the beginning of the move since November. So makes sense if we're to lose the most recent moves GP, we would be looking down at that GP. All right, so that's NAS. SPX bear thesis. Shared that on our trading community today that there is a chance of big bear volume, big bear price action coming in. However, the chance is a little bit slimmer now because we did get that 4-hour close over this upper trend line of the megaphone. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback now. One thing you guys want to know is SPX, of course, it's as you can see, it's stronger than NAS. So if you're trading, what it did today was did quite a bit of digging on what exactly is causing such a huge discrepancy, aside from the known fact of sector rotation. And I wanted to know what kind of tickers that we should be playing, what we should be looking at, because majority of the tickers that are discussed, whether it's on this video, on Twitter that you see, or in most other places, they are not going to be moving that much. And as I dug deeper, realized that one big difference was, let me pull this up here. This. So on this, from this chart, what you can see, one sector that is not on NAS and is completely on SPX is the financial sector. As we see on FAS, banking sector has been on a complete bull run, which makes sense, you know, bringing up SPX versus while NAS is dropping. So something to note on here, make sure you keep an eye on banking sector, finances, financials, whatever you want to call it. The other thing is industrial. It does have double the weighting versus NAS as well. So a lot of people refer to NAS as the tech sector. It's not completely true, because a lot of tickers that we're watching that shouldn't be quoted under tech, they are not moving as well. So for example, a few things I came across today are marijuana. What's the other ones? I came across 3. Anyways, marijuana and a couple other ones. It's just an example. You know, NAS is going down as a whole versus SPX, financials propping it up. All right, let's get back to SPX. So if we were to reject from here, if we were to see some decent bear volume coming in, this could still be considered a rejection, because the resistance of 39.15, we only slightly broke over it. Now, if we were to reject the big bear thesis, is you could be looking down at, now where's that GP? There is a chance, the worst case scenario, before it bounce, you would be looking at something like that based on the megaphone pattern. Of course, there's multiple supports along the way as well, not to mention this previous inside trend line that could serve as a support. But worst case scenario, you can be looking down at 35.79 on SPX. So keep that in mind if you are playing any bull positions. Right now, NAS is still on a little bit of a pullback. So let's look at Dow. Dow is making all-time high close today as well. Relatively, it is the strongest of the indices. So from here, as the market pulls back, I would imagine that we're going to see a pullback. Not to mention, on the daily, we are seeing a big bear divergence right now. So it makes sense that we're going to see some sort of pullback. From here, what we want to be watching is the action tomorrow going to the end of the week. How big of a pullback is going to be. And what is also going to be dependent on where the higher low is going to be set on NAS, or whether it's going to set a lower low. So environment remains as patience, exercise the patience until that clear sign. Higher lows in, that's when you start going full bull. All right, that's it for the hottest or the market. Next ones are the hottest tickers. First one, Bitcoin. Nice bull action, increasing bull volume. On the new high, would expect pullback because there is a clear bear divergence forming on the daily. Rejected slightly from now, we had definitely formed that trend line. So remember, right now we're looking at the potential of monthly bull flag. We are still right at that top of the flag. So Bitcoin remains extremely strong. But upon, whether if we reject from here today, tomorrow, or making a new high, would expect some pullback starting to be witnessed. On the weekly, we do see decreasing bull volume as well. And the weekly bear divergence has already formed. On the next new high will be an even stronger bear divergence. Next, Tesla. Decent bounce yesterday, followed by a gap up and a little bit of a run to sell off right around that 700 zone. Topped out at 717.85, but we did close over that 88. And we saw a bounce from the trend line that was keeping us down before. This trend line, we did see some support here. Closing right in the middle of that key zone, no trade area. Gonna have to see where NAS takes us. After ours, we're actually up a little bit. So no trading area. Daily trend is still favoring bears. Next is PTON. Bearish action today. Closing back under the daily 8, but low bear volume. So from here, what we'd be looking at or looking for, similar idea, hold of the GP. That would be an ideal entry right around that 102, 103 area. Strong market, you can anticipate a bounce from the 0.5, which is right around 106.78. Next, PLTR. Closing over that 88 still. This chart is looking strong today. We did see another rejection from the key support resistance. Double rejection today, but chart is still holding over that RD8. So use the RD8 as your guide. PLTR on top watch. XOM made new highs today. Yeah. New 52-week high on XOM today. Oil and gas, or oil specifically, is doing extremely well lately. And XOM is near that pre-pandemic price already. January, February. Actually, it's already over it. So XOM is already trading over the pre-pandemic price. Pandemic started February 20th, and now we are trading over it. So XOM looking great. We saw a backtest of the upper trend line of the channel, and now we're seeing continuation. No touch on the daily 8 yet. This is a nice grind up. You're going to want to see that follow through tomorrow and into Friday, pull away from the daily 8 before the consolidation. That would be the most ideal case for bulls. And let's do the requested tickers next. Open is the first one. 1-to-1 extension target hit on previous high support resistance. And we bounced today. Didn't quite touch the daily 8 yet. Closed right on the lower end of the key zone. It's not a very clear key zone, to be honest. You can see resistance, support, broke under, bought back up, and that's it. A little bit of a support here, but nothing too clear. Doesn't work all that well back here either. So not that clear. The 88 is your guide. If you're looking to short, wait for that 88 touch. Decreasing bull volume, so it's looking great for some bearish action to come, but wait for that 88. So far the bounce looks okay. Today was a gap up and run though. So 88 will be your guide. Next is Mara. What a perfect bounce. We went to revisit that lower end of the key zone. We haven't reviewed this chart in quite a while. Went to revisit that lower end of the key zone, bounce straight from there, and so far has been 68% bounce. What an amazing bounce so far. So from here, what we're looking at, it's a stall at GP right now. Would anticipate a little bit of a downside from here based on anticipation of the market pulling back. So if that is the case tomorrow, this is the ideal price to hold. You can see previous support, resistance, and then support again right around that GP $30 mark. Next is Twitter. Remains weak. One bounce day unable to break over the 88. Today gap up opened above the 88 and just straight sell off, closing at near the low of the day. So Twitter remains weak. This daily divergence doesn't seem to be done playing out. Would anticipate further downside into the GP at the very minimum. Potential for a back test of the previous high at 56.11. Next, Apple. Apple still looks weak. We still haven't closed over the 88, even on the 4% NAS bounce. From here, we are rejecting from the 88 and would be looking down at the 1 to 1.618 extension around the 113 mark, which would line up with previous key support resistance price. Not seeing anything else that's lining up though. So if we were to draw this, 1-to-1 extension is actually lower. And doesn't line up with anything either. It's a harder chart to play as the way it stands right now. If the 113.90 is lost, you'll be looking down at 107.89. Okay, next one is FSR. So on FSR today, we saw bull action, decent bull volume. Rejected right from around that 0.5 mark. This is a bounce from a revisit of the GP. And the bounce looks weak so far. Even though the bull volume has been decent and we did close over the 88, we are rejecting, having trouble with that 0.5. And didn't close anywhere near the high of day. So be patient on this one. I would imagine another retest of this trend line. Whether if it's this week or 2 weeks down the road, we could run, reject GP, and then come back down to revisit. So this may take some time to play out, but it's still not giving me any bull confidence on this play. Volatility is great on this. 31% move so far, so it looks like Mara's better. But the big picture, the short-term picture, yeah, let's cover the short-term picture. 1-to-1 extension is looking up at 35.72. This is after the 1-to-1 rejection. So wait for that continuation. If tomorrow we're to see bigger bull volume come in on that first 15-30 minutes, that could be a sign for continuation into the GP. So keep your eyes on FSR. Next, KOSS. KOSS is an interesting one today. It does move with GME. And we saw the biggest bull volume on a single day ever. So this confirms that what I'm looking at is ABCD pattern. And let's see if I can let's see if it has an ABCD pattern. Oh, it doesn't have an ABCD pattern. Okay, anyways, so this is A, this is B. Oh. A, B, C, D, E. So generally this is A, B, making a high and then making a higher low, that's D, and then, or this is C, and then the D will see follow through into new highs. So that's a pattern that I'm looking at for a follow through play out. And the bull volume is there to back it up. But the problem is, in halfway through day today, we saw a huge drop after a huge pop. All of it given back. However, when you zoom into the closer time frames, you can see, on the hourly, you will see there's a bear volume because it did turn into a red candle. But on the 30-minute, the bear volume is lower than on the way up, the bull volume. 15-minute, same idea, it gets even lower. So similar idea to what the NAS bounce looked like. This price action on the bearish price action is not justified by the bearish volume. Now, if we were to look at the hourly, you can see even with that huge pullback, we held the hourly 8. So I do believe that we will see higher prices to come. Target it's gonna sound ambitious, but I am looking up at 136. All right, we're gonna keep it short today, and this is gonna be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give a thumbs up. If you're looking to build that pot of gold and enjoy the content that we provide, please consider subscribing to our channel where we provide new videos daily. Also, check out our website, check out our Twitter, website at totalcontroltraders.com. Twitter is @_TCTraders_. We provide 7-day free trial to our chatting platform where trading ideas are shared and charts are reviewed live. Hope you guys stay safe and be in control. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video tomorrow morning live.